I learned this little hack when I knew that I needed to become a reader. In high school, I had this professor who was Jewish, and he would read 2 books a week and always had a book hanging out of his pocket. And I thought, man, that guy's so much older than me. He's got gray hair and he's reading so much. And I hate books. I hate reading. I mean, that was honestly the way I felt. And then I learned this little hack. If you want to read a book, don't try to read the entire thing at once. No cramming. In fact, don't even try to read a chapter. In fact, don't even try to read a page. In fact, don't even try to read a paragraph. Don't even try to read a sentence. Just make the commitment to read a word. It is impossible to pick up a book and read a word and put it right back down if your intention is to read the book. My secret that I found is that if I can take a big, ambitious goal and find the smallest common denominator, that all of a sudden I developed a love affair with books and I started reading. My goal was 50 books. I plowed through those 50 books, but it was all based on this idea of just reading a word at a time.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
At some point, I got sick and tired of carrying the extra 30 to 50 pounds. So this was years ago. I said, I'm going to do a physique competition. That's like a bodybuilding category, right? So I'm actually going to go and compete and get practically naked on stage in front of 1,000 people and show off my body. And I probably was always over 20% body fat. But I knew to get on that stage, I had to be 5% body fat, and I had 5 months to get there. So I got myself a trainer, but I reduced it to the tiniest thing, which was I just got to show up and I got to do that one set. But if I got to the gym, I wasn't going to do one set. I was going to do 4 sets. And then I was going to pick another exercise. And then I was reducing it to something as simple as when that alarm clock goes off, Kris, you got to wake up in the morning. Kris, when you put food in your mouth, this is the smallest denominator. And one day at a time, in a day I didn't get down to 5% body fat. But by consistently doing the right things every day, when it came showtime for competition, I was a ripped 5% body fat, and I owned that stage. And ever since then, I've never had a problem with my body or my weight. So I learned something from mastering a new skill. It was kind of like when I was young and I said, I want to take down this money thing, right? Like, I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm done with college. Dude, it was a crazy ambitious goal. Crazy. That wasn't what any of my friends were doing. Dude, my friends were, and they looked at what I was doing in real estate, like, dude, you crazy. But you know, it just started with, I know I need to get a lot of houses to be financially free, but I just need to buy one. What do I got to do to buy one? And then I broke that down. Well, actually, I need $5,000 in the bank. How do I do that? Geez, I don't have any excess money, so I need to save. And every month I figured out how to save just a little bit of money. Small steps led to that first house. That first house, check this out. It started creating a snowball because now I didn't have to pay my mortgage. The basement was covered. I rented it out and it paid for the whole house. That extra money now got me out of debt. I used that money to buy another house. Then I had the income from both houses that easily bought my third. All of them bought my fourth. I remember when I had $2,000 a month coming in residually, and then it was $5,000, and it was $8,000. The first time I had $100,000 in my bank account, I remember just going up to my wife and being like, dude, we've been doing this for only 3 years, and we got $100,000 in the bank account. This is wild. That's $1/10,000,000. Little things turn into huge things when you can reduce them down to their tiniest little piece. Let me just give you a couple more examples because I want you to really see how you can do this in your world. My wife and I used to really struggle in our marriage. Like we just couldn't communicate on some topics. Like there were eggshells. We would not walk on the eggshells when it came to house cleaning, when it came to physical intimacy, when it came to schedules. Like there were these topics that we just really struggled with. And one day I said, okay, Kris, how do you apply this? Here's your ambitious goal. I want to live on cloud 9 with my wife. I want to be 10 out of 10. How do I get 10 out of 10 every single day? And I said, well, with unconditional love, I've got to be willing to love her on her terms with what she wants and tie no conditions to it. So it's not a transaction. There's nothing in exchange. And so basically every day I would ask her, what can I do for you? How can I show my love? And whatever she asked, I did it. Doing every day one thing, not 5, not 10, nothing huge. Whatever she asked, they were often really small things, unload the dishwasher, take the kids to school, things that I could manage. But after 60 days of every day doing one tiny little thing for her, completely transformed the way that I felt about Kalen, and I think the way she felt about me, because then we were both reciprocating and playing, and for years now, our marriage has never been the same since. Small, little, daily actions. Last one, most recently, is that I've been evaluating how I am as a father. Like on the one hand, I feel like an awesome father. But then when I get like really critical, I'm like, all right, am I really the best father that I can be? And if I'm critical, I can see where I'm not spending enough time with my kids. I'm not getting with them at their level, playing at their games, doing the things that they want. And so I turned to my wife and I said, dude, there's a problem for me. I want to fix it. She says, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to find the smallest thing that I can do that I know will chain react everything. She's like, what is it? I said, 15 minutes a day. I'm going to take 15 minutes a day one-on-one with one of my kids to start this. And she said, well, are you going to create a rotation? Are you going to like create a system and then rotate kids? And I'm like, no, I'm just going to spend 15 minutes every day with whoever I feel I want to spend it with. And that first day, I was reading a book with my child, then I hopped on a bike, then we were biking around the neighborhood, and that night we went to the park. And little things turn into huge things. What keeps most of us from achieving our big ambitious goals is that we just don't start. We get so hung up on the big thing that we put it off. And if you can put something off one day, one is a powerful number. It's the difference between possible and impossible. If you can put it off one day, you will put it off a week. And if you can put it off a week, years later, you're going to wake up in bed and say, what if? Where did the time go? Why didn't I? And there'll be regret. It doesn't have to be that way. So if you have a really big, ambitious goal, all you got to do is ask yourself, what is the small, tiniest little step that I can take today and every day that will simply get me started? Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. For those of you that are saying, wow, Kris, that's great advice. Where do I start and where do I find the motivation? One place that you can find it is right here. This book, Limitless, it's about living the most extraordinary life. If you have ambitious goals, how you manifest things that are way bigger and way beyond you, I give the secret formula in here of how to be there, how to actually gain the emotional intelligence, and what to practice every day on a little level that will actually help you manifest everything and anything that you want in your life. It's basically a book that I've spent millions of dollars to write based on my experience with me and my mentors, and I know it's going to be huge for you. I believe every person that is serious about ambitious goals needs to own a copy of this, and if you spend just a half hour in this book, it's going to change your life. This book is free, so you don't actually have to pay for it. Cover the shipping, and I will get a nice copy of this right in the mail to you, and I hope it'll be as big of a gift for you as I know it has been for me in my world. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Subscribe. I'll see you on tomorrow's video.